me down.
Hey everybody, AJ McWhorter here, your tournament director for the Hobie Bass Open Series, anchored by Power Pole. And that video just kind of showed out for Power Pole in our very next event on SANTEE Cooper Manning, South Carolina. Having a Power Pole might be the most important tool that you have, as we all are looking to see how shallow these fish are going to get. And are they going to be on the beds? What's it going to take to come away with the win on those 2 days on SANTEE Cooper? Now, we will talk more about SANTEE Cooper here in just a little bit. We've got Vinny Ferreri of Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing with us tonight. But first, we're just going to kind of run through just some house cleaning stuff and go over some things. So for anybody that didn't use the internet for the last few days, we opened up registration for Chickamauga on Friday, and we sold out of our 200 spots in record time. 9 minutes. Actually, it had to be under 9 minutes because the anglers that were at 9 minutes were those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 that kind of showed up on Tourney X. And everybody's like, why is it 206? Well, it's not 206 anymore. It's 200. And those 6 people are at the top of our wait list for that event. Very sorry to the folks that didn't get in, that planned on getting in. Understand that it is not how we planned that. It's not how we've planned these events. We are taking a lot of things into consideration for how we are going to relieve some of the stresses of the sign up, as well as relieve some of the stresses of the wait list and the, withdrawals and the re-registration and stuff like that, which is a kind of a tremendous undertaking as well that we've never done before until this year. So there's a lot of things that we weren't ready for just because we'd not been here before. We knew that we didn't want to run events over 200 anglers for our overall angler experience, but we also had never got there before. And now that we're here, it's exposed some things with that. With all that said, you guys are tremendous. The support this year has been amazing. I was telling some other folks 2 years ago, our second season running this series, through the course of 13, I think our 12 total events, including a shootout and the TOC, we had like 998 total entrants in that whole season. 2 years later, we've already taken 1,000 registrants in 5 events. I have a wait list between 4 events that's longer than our overall season average last year for a single event. We pretty much go through anywhere from 10 to 12 people so far in those wait lists. So don't get discouraged if you don't get in. Go ahead and get on that wait list as soon as possible. The Santee event wait list is over 50 still, but we've worked down. I've got a couple people I need to message, but we are working towards using 10 people off that wait list so far. We've used over 12 so far. Broken Bow we've used about 5 so far, and that's the event that has the least amount on the wait list, that and Eufaula. So if you guys are wanting to fish with us, maybe you missed out on one of the events that you wanted to get in, go ahead and hop on that wait list for Eufaula or Broken Bow, and be ready for when I send you a message to let you know your time's up. I'll let you know the details and what that looks like, and hopefully we'll be able to get you in the event. With that said, not this weekend, but the following weekend, April 1st, is the Friday. Registration will open up for our Northern Swing. We will be going to Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. And, all the reports of that fishery is that it should be a tremendous fishery, tons of smallmouth. It's an awesome lake. Everybody local up there loves it and is excited to see us coming up there. It sounds like there's a bunch of folks that are coming up from other areas to get an opportunity to fish their 3, to try new waters, and to chase smallmouth. So I think we're gonna have a really good mix in that event. I'm not going to speak out on if I think it'll sell out or how fast. I just know that we've had tremendous support this year, and I don't expect any of our events to not show good regional support like we've had in every event so far. And I know we're looking forward to getting up there and kind of winding down the registration aspect of this season. But we've only run one event so far. So that's kind of where we're at. We've got all these events that are sold out, and it's time to get back on the water. And we've got SANTEE Cooper coming up next week. The BASS Elite Series anglers are fishing there this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes from their event to our event. This time of year, a week can change a lot of things. So we'll bring Vinny in just a second. I'm going to touch on some final things, and then we're going to be all SANTEE Cooper the rest of the evening. So if you have registered for one of our events, whether it's SANTEE or another event, and you can't make it, just let me know as soon as possible. We've got published formats for how we handle that. There is a wait list for every event of folks that are chomping at the bit to get in. So if you know you can't make it, let us know. If it's a last minute thing and you think it's going to be a last minute thing, let us know. And it helps us give other people the heads up so we can make sure that we fill our 200 angler field. We've already got the checks printed for a 200 angler field. So, we got to make sure we hit those numbers. We got to stay up there. We got to make sure someone's hoisting that $10,500 check, and we're paying out all the way through 20 places. As far as the event goes, official practice period will begin on Monday. Prior to that is essentially guide rule has been in effect for the last, since March 5th. So if you weren't familiar with those rules, it's a good time to go ahead and check. As you signed up for this event, you pretty much are acknowledging the rules and that you are aware of them. So essentially what practice period it means is that you must be using a tournament approved vessel. It means you cannot be in a boat any longer. Now your kayak can have a motor on it. You can utilize a motor during practice, but you cannot be in a motor boat running around the lake pretty much starting on Monday morning. It takes you till 4 o'clock on Friday when practice period ends. And you have to be completely off the water. Boone's over here flexing a tennis ball pretty hard for us. So I do apologize if that's showing up loud for you guys. But you guys know how he likes to be a part of the show. So early next week, I will send out all of the anglers registered in the tournament with their need to know. Their need to know will tell you everything that's going on through the course of the week. It'll kind of give you a heads up of where we're going to be, what time you need to be there, and some of those other things. If you're not getting that email, if you're not getting any of the emails from our series, it's because we are emailing the Tourney X email that you're using for the event. That was a big challenge for a lot of folks at Toledo Bend. Big challenge. They were like, we're not getting any of your communication. I was like, well, I'm sending it to the email that you registered with for this event. That is how we communicate right now. And if you're not checking that email that we use for Tourney X, then we're not able to reach you or know that you're not being reached by the stuff that we send out. So make sure you know which email's registered and keep an eye on it. Check your spam folder. It'll probably be around Tuesday or Wednesday of next week that we'll send out that need to know, and it'll get everybody prepared. On the other side of that, if you are getting emails and you have removed yourself from the event or you thought you removed yourself from the event, please let me know as soon as possible. This wait list and dropping registration and all of these things has showed that we don't have necessarily the best system for that. So right now it's a pretty extensive and all manual process. And I will be honest, there have been some that have slipped through for certain events. And fortunately, those anglers messaged me and said, hey, I got my refund, but you didn't drop me out of that event, or whatever the situation is, because we can't, have the event roll under 200 anglers and then just some random person can sign up. So I'm kind of switching angler for angler once I get somebody to commit versus when somebody drops out. So all that said is, if you're getting emails that you're not supposed to be getting, please let us know. It's obviously a mistake, and we want to get that fixed as soon as possible and get somebody else added into that event that's waiting patiently and hoping that they're going to get in. With all that said, on Friday night at 4:00, everybody that is registered in this event is expected to come to our registration, or check-in is what we're going to call it. And it'll essentially be you bringing in your metal only catch board. We only do metal. Really prefer the X version. Big shout out to Catch for all that they're doing with our trophies and the message and the measuring boards. But they also announced this past week that their original metal board is going away. And, it's been an important board for our sport, but those guys made such an improvement with the Catch X board. And we really, really like those. And if you need one, we will have some available at the event for purchase. Or if you're in an emergency and need to borrow one, we can evaluate that as well. So you have to have a metal board for our event. And we will be checking those. We will be putting a sticker on that board. If you've already gotten a 2022 Hobie BOS sticker, you do not need to take it off, but we are asking that you take off all other stickers off the bump. We would like to start fresh and get you that fresh 2022 sticker and get everything dialed in on your bump. Pretty much what's going to happen after that is we're going to hang out for a couple hours while we get registration and check-in dialed in. There's going to be pizza. There's going to be beverages. We will be, hanging out until we have our mandatory captain's briefing that we will do. We'll give away a lot of great prizes from our sponsors. It'll be random, and we'll be tossing them out and drawing numbers. Somebody's going to win their chance to get the Hobie Orange and Black Outback. Somebody's going to win their chance to get the Torqeedo 1103. And then we'll be passing out hundreds of dollars of great prizes from our sponsors on site right then as well. So that's kind of how it looks. That's what a Friday night check-in looks. If you are just a part of Queen City and you're not registered in our event, come on out, see what it's all about, hang out, be a part of the community if you're there, and see what one of these events looks like. And hopefully the next time we come to town, you guys will, be able to get registered quickly and get in there. So with all that said, that's all I've got for some notes. We are going to bring in Vinny Ferreri of Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing to talk SANTEE Cooper, talk the, how his club's doing so far this year and how they're projecting for SANTEE. And we're just going to kind of banter and go back and forth a little bit and do what we do and have a good night. So appreciate y'all being here, and let's get Vinny in here.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Can you tell me if Boone was too loud, or was it bad?
It was pretty loud.
Yeah, I got these nice headphones that kind of isolate me from it a little bit, but man,
I was gonna private hit you real quick, but he's pretty loud.
Yeah, I was some of these tennis balls have squeakers in them and some of them don't, and he found the one that obviously does, and is like sitting on this couch right behind me, just like going to town. So sorry for everybody having to deal with that, but I've got the ball, I've got it secured in between my feet, and we're going to be able to get back to work here in a little bit. Vinny, before we dive in too much, tell a little bit about your history with Queen City and kind of what your club represents to that community.
So this is our 8th season here in the Carolinas. We started pretty local to the Charlotte area, about an hour circle around Charlotte, and we've kind of expanded now to about the 3 hour mark around North and South Carolina. Obviously, started like any small homegrown club, and we've grown and grown and grown, and here we are on the live stage with you. So we're averaging a good amount of anglers this year. We just like you guys, we've only had one event so far, but the hype is crazy for 2022 right now. We opened on Lake Norman, which is turned into our home, our main home, and we had 146 anglers come out. So that was a Queen City season opener record. It was a Queen City standalone event record. We've had more anglers, but it was with you at Hartwell last year. We broke the 150 mark. So it's been a good start to the year. We've upped the ante all across the board, higher payouts, guarantees for first and second place, tons and tons of prizes, kayak giveaways, all the good stuff. So we've turned the small grassroots club into a mini BOS, I guess you could say, here in the Carolinas.
Absolutely. You've been great for us to work with. I was on a previous podcast earlier, and we were talking about the Norman event a few years ago, and how kayak fishing kind of just evolved in like a 4-week period between a BOS on Lake Fork, the BASS on Logan Martin, and then the Queen City and Hobie event on Norman that like kind of was like the kickoff party to COVID protocol, and everything. Is like we're in a captain's meeting on Friday night, and like they're declaring North Carolina a state of emergency, and we're just like, what does that even mean? Can we like
Man,
fish still? So I was like, there's a kayak fishing book that could be written about those 4 weeks and kayak lore, man. It was everything's kind of evolved differently from that. But what we've been able to do is kind of set a precedent and a standard for how we work together, and how we're able to not only grow the local group, but also grow the national attendance, and kind of have a good mix of winners and people in those events of both. And here we are on Santee Cooper at the end of March. Like, I mean, I don't know that we could be at a better place at a better time. 200 anglers. You guys are going to be stacked with anglers, and it's going to be just amazing out there, man. Tell me a little bit about how you're feeling coming into that event, because obviously you are the you're the commish of Queen City, but you're also an angler, and you're registered for this event. For anybody that's kind of curious about how you work that dynamic on tournament days, go ahead and kind of let them know, but kind of tell me how you're feeling about it, being an angler in that event.
So for anybody who's new, who's watching, I ran around pretty good last year with the BOS series. I hit 5 along the East Coast. I was lucky enough to qualify for the TOC last season with you guys. I fished a few events the year prior down in Alabama, Tennessee, and then I fished the shootout, that Friday shootout, to try to make it in. Things didn't go my way. So I've been running around with Hobie for a few years now, having some fun. I've also been managing, directing, and fishing with Queen City for the last 7 years. This year, I'm dedicating all my time towards directing Queen City. I've stepped back. I'm no longer fishing with Queen City. So I have 5 BOS events lined up that I plan on making. It's been a little interesting making sure I make those, but I have 3 so far sitting in my standings, and I'll be signing up for New Hampshire and Pennsylvania pending I get in those first 200. So I'm excited. I kind of have to channel my energy as we approach this, because I know that this weekend I'm all in for pre-fishing and practicing, and then I turn into director again until Friday at probably about 10 p.m. And then I get to put the angler hat back on for a few hours, and then right back to the weigh-in, where Saturday night we'll be at the venue in Clarendon County, and we will be, we'll have 150 guys come out for a weigh-in. So I have to play commish for a few hours before I get to fish again on Sunday. So it's definitely a stressful weekend for me personally, but it's nothing. I would never trade it. I wouldn't give it up for anything. I love being able to compete on the national scene. And I love giving my guys here in the Carolinas the opportunity to stay, not at home, but within our state here and compete on a national scene. So I'll make sure to have somebody ask the "What'd you catch them on?" question, so I don't get in trouble at my weigh-in, as usual. And we'll have a good time. I'll be there Friday night with you. For anybody who's watching, who's thinking about signing up, sign up will still be open Friday until 10 p.m. So if you get to meet me in person and you decide you want to throw a little double dip action down, it'll just be a $65 entry fee, and we'll be paying out at least $2,000 to first place, and then second place is also a guaranteed $1,000. Now, all these numbers are obviously pending. Those numbers will go up pending entries, so I can't give you final numbers just yet. I don't know what we're sitting at right now, but it's going to be a fun weekend, man. I'm excited for it.
Absolutely, and Vinny will be able to share his event and has already shared his event into the Bass Open Series group page a few times. So keep an eye on that. And if you haven't liked their page, go ahead and go over and like Queen City's page. They do a lot in that region, and we've pretty much always affiliated with them for the last 3 years in that region, and it's been a lot of fun. Some of our anglers have taken their money. Some of their anglers have taken our anglers' money. So it's a good mix. It's a good group of folks. Quite a few of their folks qualify for the TOC every year, either through the top 3 placing at the event or through points. So they've really found the BOS to be an opportunity for them to chase some high level things as we kind of expand to different fisheries across the country. But man, Santee Cooper, end of March, right after the elites hit it. Some people would look at that as a kind of a bad thing. Obviously there's going to be some stuff out there that's public that people are going to be able to see. And there's going to be some pressure there, but I mean, let's just be real. Like, Santee Cooper is pressured in March every year, pretty heavily. And the beauty about that and what we do in kayaks is that there are going to be places that don't get as much pressure that kayaks are able to squeeze into and do their thing. So I think we're primed for some giant bass. Some PBs are going to get posted, whether they're caught in the tournament or not. There's just no doubt that somebody's going to come in there and catch a personal best fish. And we've got some, kind of mediocre 5-fish limits that we need to look at and try to expand on. So, Toledo Bend didn't do it. We had some tough conditions and some crazy wind and some big front to push through. I'm not going to say that we won't have that at Santee Cooper. I'm not even going to talk about the forecast, but odds are there is going to be some sort of weather dynamic that affects our anglers, because that's what we do, apparently, to the weather. But man, like, I'm not even going to cast a line the entire time I'm down there, and I'm getting excited because I know I'm going to be looking at some giant fat old bass on metal catch boards and just be getting excited. So, that's how I'm feeling. 200 anglers in South Carolina, working with Queen City, going to have an extra group of anglers that are going to be around. It's going to be kayaks freaking everywhere on and off the water. And we're going to let that community know, kind of what's up. And I'm excited to support them. Clarendon County, if you're looking for a place to stay, looking for places to eat, support the people that support us. That's the reason we're going to Santee Cooper, is Clarendon County has invested in us to be there, both our series and Queen City. They want us to come. They want us to appreciate their community by helping their businesses. Hotel nights is so huge. If you're looking for a place to stay, go get a hold of their hotels, find your price point, find your time frame, give them a call, and see what they have available for you. And, when you have a chance after our meetings and before our meetings, check out their food establishments and, just let them know and tell anybody that's asking about why you're in town. And, what you're fishing for. Tell them it's a weekend where, between two clubs, there's going to be, I mean, gosh, probably close to $50,000 paid out or so. So, that's what it's all about. We make influence on these communities and have that opportunity. And we definitely are going to want to come back to Santee Cooper in the future. So, kind of let's show them how kayak anglers are.
For sure, AJ. Can I put you on the spot for a couple questions and say a few things?
Sure. Just about Santee Cooper, right?
Just about Santee Cooper.
Yeah, man.
So I want to say thank you first off for working with us as always. And thank you for getting the invite for Friday night for the guys who were not lucky enough to get in the top 200 or the first 200. I think we had 83 members jump in the Hobie side. So this is, that's almost 50% of your field is Queen City members. So that's pretty awesome. And I know there were some guys who missed out just due to this year's circumstances, but that happens. But guys, if you're listening from Queen City, AJ opened up the gym that night. So come hang out. I'll be there as long as AJ lets me in the building. I'll have the banner up, the tables up. You guys will see the prizes, plaques, and all that good stuff as usual. So come hang out, see what a BOS check-in and then a weigh-in looks like. It'll be a great weekend. We want to talk some numbers. I think Queen City is going to be hovering around that 250 mark. I think we're going to bring about 170 ourselves. And then I imagine most of your guys will double dip our way if they want to win a few extra $1,000. So I think we'll be seeing that 250 mark of combined anglers on our side, which obviously as a director, I'm super excited for. My judges are having a slight heart attack, but that's okay. They're primed and ready to go.
What would you tell them? Santee's not a numbers lake. Is that what you keep telling them? Make them feel good about it?
I keep telling them we'll hope that a lot of people don't catch limits, but I think it's going to be insane. I think if you're not from here, we had what we call like the third winter last week, and it cooled down again, and I think it kind of slowed those fish down. I say that not having been out there, but I think those fish were headed to the bank, headed to the beds. They kind of got pushed off again, and now we're on the upswing again with temperature. So I think we are literally going to hit this as perfect as possible. Now that I said it, there'll be an earthquake, but I do think it is going to be amazing. And the two questions I had for you as far as putting you on a spot, what is the BOS limit, 2-day limit length record, and what is the big bass record? Because I got a feeling we're going to set two new ones.
I do have this information. I just don't have it memorized, but I'm going to pull it up. I do know that Matthew Scotch still has the record for the big bass that was caught at Lake Fork. There's actually video of that catch, and we've been using that like picture and video for all sorts of stuff. It was awesome. Dude was like punching like some grass, and our camera boat was on him, and he looks over at the camera boat like it's about to go down, and then he just absolutely wails on this thing, and like nothing happens. And then his boat just like starts going to this grass mat, and then this fish just comes up and like lays on this grass mat, and he like flies up to the front of his boat, reaches down, grabs the fish like this off this grass mat, and like holds it up. It's like shaking it, doing a dance. I'm just
Awesome.
telling you, like when people talk about putting kayak fishing on TV or going live, like that is the kind of stuff that people aren't ready for, that happens in people's boats all the time. And obviously Matthew Scotch is very animated and a hell of an angler. But a lot of our anglers have unique personalities. And when something like that happens in a tournament, it's just like, there's no way to prepare for that. And you just react in such a natural way. Let me see if I can pull this up. We are actually working.
He hasn't commented yet.
Yeah, we are actually working on a records list. That's something that we've been wanting to do for a little while, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Well, last year when we went down to Santee, we got hit with a nasty cold front, and for those of you who don't know, Queen City is a 4 fish limit. So In our 4 fish, our first place angler put up right at 88 inches, and he threw back another 17, I believe. So he had 105 in a 5 fish limit. I think we're going to see about a 210, 212 inch 2-day bag to take this down.
210.
I'm going to say 212. That's been the number I've been telling my guys. I think it's going to take 212 to take home $10,500. It's a big number, a scary number.
It is. It is. But, they're there. They're definitely there. They're going to be more catchable, than any other time of year, with them being, potentially shallower. So that's definitely one of those things. All right. I finally got this up.
You got it.
24 3/4 inches was that fish that Scotch caught that we have on film. It was caught February 22nd, 2022 on Lake Fork. To complement that fish, 2020, actually. I'm sorry, 2020. Okay. There was a lot of twos in that sentence, and I just didn't get them in the right order. So also, our largest 5 fish limit was 106 3/4 by Matthew Scotch that day on February 22nd, 2020. So 106 3/4 is the top single, day total. Our best 10-day total was Brian Howe on February 6th and 7th on Lake Seminole, 2021, and that was a total of 205 and a half. I do have to give a shout out though, because the largest fish ever turned into any Hobie event back in the early days that we got a little nostalgic on last week with the old Lake Murray satellite events. We had a satellite event on the Harris chain of lakes in Florida, and Mr. Big Fish Jason Broach put a 25 1/4 inch bass on the board and took home that win there and qualified for his first ever tournament of champions. And
I wonder what lake Broach lives on. Any idea what lake Jason Broach lives on?
Well, he doesn't live. He lives down in.
Might as well live on
SANTEE. He lives down in Bluffton, South Carolina, which is very close to saltwater. But he has spent many years living on and fishing SANTEE Cooper, and I'm not going to put any extra pressure on him because I'm sure he's putting a ton on himself. But that's going to be a dude to watch out for in this event, 100% for sure. And he's had a good year so far, and he's I don't know. We'll keep an eye on Jason Broach. He might be ready to break some more records.
I think we're gonna flirt with your records this next weekend. I'm just gonna put it out there. If I'm wrong, you guys can bring me back and call me out. But I'm excited. I think the records are going to be up for grabs.
Records are made to be broken. That's the whole deal. And I want to see a fish bigger than 25 1/4 lay on that board. I want to see 107 or 108 inch limit do it 2 days. Let's talk about it. I'm ready for that. And whoever does have that big fish is going to go home with a $500 bonus from Bassin Magazine. So, that is not included in your entry. That is an additional payout that Bassin Magazine has done. Everybody that registered for a BOS event this year is going to get a subscription from from Bassin Magazine. We are also doing printed checks for the top 20 starting at SANTEE Cooper. So we'll have, if you make a check, you'll have something to hold. You'll have something to show off, and it looks like you could probably make some room up there for another one.
I want to replace that little one right there with my fingers. Can I replace that one with a big one?
If you want to. What's that little one say?
That's yours. That's Hartwell, baby.
Hartwell? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll try. We'll see what we can do. But that's we got a lot in store. It's going to be a good event. a tremendous amount of newcomers to this event. I'm sure a good portion of them are part of Queen City, and a part of them have never heard of Queen City, and they're going to have a chance to meet your anglers and potentially fish a first one of your events as well. So it's definitely going to be a big weekend. I will get down there probably sometime mid-Thursday is when I'll get down there. I will have parts and pieces and all sorts of stuff. If you find yourself in in some equipment trouble, let me know. If it is a different brand, I can help you get associated with somebody that might be able to kind of come to your aid. Vinny, who is the closest shop that you guys normally like when you're down there and need something? Obviously, like River Runner is in Columbia.
Yeah,
I've got
LC Paddle Sports is in Columbia as well.
Okay.
So,
And I've got Naturally Outdoors up in Florence. And then as far as parts go, Sail and Ski Connection on Myrtle Beach has a tremendous selection of parts for Hobies as well. So if you're before I get there, those are kind of your places to try, or get a hold of me and I can help you get a hold of the right store to get you going. I'm actually traveling through South Carolina that week, so I might actually be around where you're going to be before I get into Clarendon County. But reach out to me, and we'll get you helped out as best we can, and make sure that whatever we have to do to have you with working products, whether it's stump damage, gator damage, theft, angler mistake, you name it, we're here to put those worries behind you and get you back on the water as best we can. So, Vinny, we're getting pretty close to wrapping this thing up, man. You've been talking about records. You've been talking about stuff. I want you to go on the record and give me what's going to take to win your 4-fish tournament and what's going to take to win my 10-fish tournament. And I just want one big bass number. What's going to be the biggest bass of the weekend?
212 to win your 10. I'm sticking with it because I've been saying it. 89 to win my 4. And I'm going to go 25 on big bass.
25. All right.
I'll go 25.
All right. I want to see it. And that's going to be an awesome opportunity. All right. I got a question from Sean. He said, what is the latest we can check in our board? So the meeting or the check-in process runs from 5 to 7 p.m. The captain's briefing meeting will start pretty much right at 7. We'll do product giveaways, and then we will kind of run through rules, expectations, all of that stuff. If you can't get there by 7 or before 7, you have a couple options. I'm obviously going to be there after the fact. I can check your board afterwards. Or if you're concerned about it, you can actually let someone check in for you with their board and your board, and then also pick up your identifier as well. So those are 2 things that we have published and available to you guys. If there is going to be some extra circumstances, please let me know. It is one of those things that, I get kind of concerned when I'm like, there's like 10 people that aren't there by 6:50. So if you know that you're going to be late, I really appreciate knowing that ahead of time. As far as the wait list goes, it's published. It's on the BOS group page. It's been there for a few weeks. It doesn't get updated as quickly as the list updates because I'll get caught up. I'm about to send that new list to Steve for him to upload. And then I get 2 more people that back out of the event. And so then I'm back to going down the list. And, essentially like right now, there is not a waiting list for Eufaula, or there's 1 person on it. Like Eufaula has completely gone through everybody that's asked to be on the wait list. We've been through at least 10 people. I had the first person decline their opportunity for Santee today, just because it was too tight for them to get down there. And, because we're essentially a week away from folks getting down there pre-fishing. So, we've probably been through about 10 people. So, you're halfway there, number 33. We're working towards you. But we will probably get to somewhere in the mid to upper teens. And that list will continue to get updated as quickly as we can update it.
Worst case, you can jump on my side if you want to come down and just be a part of the experience. You still got $2,000 on the line. I know it's not 10 grand, but for $65, minimum of $2,000, come down, enjoy South Carolina, enjoy just amazing fishing. I mean, it doesn't have to be the BOS side of it that unfortunately you missed out on. It could still be your shot at a real shot at a 10-pounder, some beautiful scenery, an amazing fishery, and a little bit of money on the side as well. So come down, hang out.
Absolutely. And the important thing too is, like, if you're there, I'm going to have a few people drop out on Thursday or Friday. It's just what always happens. So if you're there and you're prepared and you've already been pre-fishing, or maybe you don't even need to pre-fish, it goes down like that for you out there, then just be there, be ready. I'll go through 10 people that say no to find somebody that will say yes. So you're asking where the check will be located. The address and everything is listed in our events page. It is, let me pull it up here. It is going to be the Weldon Auditorium Gymnasium at 7 Maple Street, Manning, South Carolina, 29102. So all the information for the event is published at the hobiebos.com. The wait list is there. Vinny, where do you have all of your information published?
So everything is posted on Tourney X event page, and everything is posted on the event itself on the Queen City page. To answer your question, everything except the fact that we are a 4-fish limit is identical to Hobie BOS. We do our best to eliminate any boundaries for this event. We want everyone in both sides. So you're going to go fishing Saturday, and all you have to think about is one ID card, dual submit to both events, and then show up at the same location for your weigh-in. Obviously, Hobie and AJ stopped doing the Saturday weigh-ins, but I will be at the same venue set up for you. I will have food and drink, prizes, 50 plus raffle prizes for anglers who show up. We'll do our plaque ceremony. We'll get pictures, video, and then we'll send you home to prep for day 2 of the Hobie BOS, myself included, and then we'll be back there on Sunday. So I've eliminated anything that could make this complicated. This is our 3rd year doing this. It's been really, really smooth, at least on my end. I think AJ would agree for both previous years. And we are accepting the Hobie BOS ID. If you are in the Hobie side, that's all you need for the Queen City side. Tourney X has a great feature where you hit submit catch and you can highlight his event and my event, and the fish will go to both events. Both sets of judges will judge it, and then you'll get your standings for both events. It really is as simple as it can be. When you do go look to sign up for our side of it, it will prompt you to see if you'd like to pay for a membership. The membership is optional. We are an open club. Anybody can come fish. It says it right there. You just have to read it. You do not need to pay the membership. I did see somebody asked about the elite side pot. That really just started as a trash talking side pot. It's extra money thrown into a side. 10 or 15 people jump in, and it's pretty much a winner take all. So that is $75. That one you do need to be a member for. So that would cost you a total of $120 for a shot at, give or take, another $1,000. Just depends on how many jump in. So any questions, Vinny Ferreri on Facebook, Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing, any time of the day.
And finally, before we get out of here, I'm going to make Vinny cringe for a second and talk about public access and launches and his favorite subject of our tournament. So
makes it easier on me.
if you guys aren't familiar with our rules, we're public ramp or access, and it is the angler's responsibility to find out that spot and verify and confirm that spot is public and legal. All of the resources are out there for you to do the research. All of our rules are published specifically towards that in those scenarios. And it is your responsibility. It is not my responsibility. And I will reference that rule when I respond back to you when you ask me if a spot is legal or not. If it pertains to boundaries, I can help you with that since I control those. But public access spots are public, and you guys can kind of do your research for you and verify and make sure that you are fishing in the legal spot. So I will not be able to help you with that like I did for the first couple of years. And that also means I will not be publishing people's legal spots for everybody after I have to make a ruling.
I hate to put you on the spot live here, but would you like my resource for this or no?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you want to share that into our group page, I think that's a really good asset for people, and I appreciate you doing that. Obviously, we want to be clear that is, what that is. Yes, absolutely. But it is a good opportunity for folks that are looking for new ramp spots and places where they know they're legal and good there. So I appreciate that. Share that into the page, and we'll be good there.
Good deal.
Vinny, I really appreciate the time. Even more so, looking forward to seeing you and your entire crew and everybody else traveling into Clarendon County, South Carolina next week for the Hobie Bass Open Series on Santee Cooper Lakes. It's going to be amazing. Safe travels. It's all about having fun. If you need us, we are always available for you all when you message us, as many of you know. And we can't wait to get this thing going. We've been hyping it up. We've been looking forward to it. It's all up to you guys to meet that hype on that lake, and we can't wait to see what all of our anglers are going to do. Thank you guys for following. Vinny, thank you. Steve, thank you in the background. We'll see everybody in South Carolina next week.